Hey guys, RC Peck here. It was kind of funny. Someone asked me like, "How you doing with all that's going on?" And look, I'm kind of a loner anyway. I've been working for myself by myself almost my entire adult life. So from a lifestyle point of view, I'm around my kids a lot already. So it's just interesting that as crazy as it is right now in the world, it's interesting how normal it's been in many aspects of my life. Clearly, not with the stock market being crazy, but just with the lifestyle. I stopped working Fridays when my first kid was born. I've been around them. So it's just interesting how some things stay the same and some things get really, really different. Like hearing stories that my kids are going to be out of school until next year, which sounds really scary. I want to talk to you guys about gold or precious metals. We're often taught that it absolutely is a place of safety, and you gotta always have money in gold just in case. And you hear these things like it's an insurance policy, and just have 10% of your money in gold. And I actually think that's a mistake. I think most of the time having your money in gold is actually an anchor on your life, an anchor on your portfolio. It actually makes your portfolio smaller. So I am not one that prescribes having 10% of your money always in precious metals or gold. I think that's a very outdated belief. So what I want to do is jump behind the computer, and I want to look at some gold and silver price charts. Let's look at what they're doing, not what we want them to do or what they have to do, but to look at them from a standpoint of what is price telling us, right? What is the gold price telling us? What is the silver price telling us, both in the metal and in the mining shares? Because I think when we are able to, just be unattached, right? Now, obviously, if you have $1 million and all million of your dollars is in a 3x leveraged precious metal mining fund, you're not unattached. You're very attached to the outcome. So that's an extreme example. But there's a way to be unattached, right? There's a way to want your money to do well, but not be attached to where it is. Now, the thing is, it's not ever taught or trained anywhere. I do train unattachment, in the training, I actually talk about it as, what if you didn't care what you owned? Like, what if you just didn't care what you owned? What you only really cared about was how well your portfolio performed. And it's different, right? It goes against every traditional idea that your age matters, your risk tolerance matters. But what if what mattered most was just the direction of your portfolio? So give me a second. Let me jump behind the computer and let's look at some precious metal charts. All right, give me a second. All right, guys, I want to keep this really simple, or as simple as possible, with gold. So what I want to do is I just want to look at gold in a handful of different currencies, right? So what is gold doing in the Chinese yuan, in the yen, in the euro, in the French franc, in the dollar, the pound, and just let's see what it looks like. And we're going to kind of start with a big zoomed out view. So the first price chart is GLD. So this is gold basically being priced in the Chinese yuan. And as you can see, it had a bottoming process down here, and it broke above that in mid 2019. It did that. Now, unlike the US dollar, it still hasn't broken above its next, or battling with its next major kind of resistance area. But as you can see, just huge swings here. Now, it has stayed in its uptrend. And even that drop, this is in yuan, even that drop, that's a 9% little, hey, how you doing right there. But still, it stayed in its uptrend. So gold is strengthening in the yuan. Let's go to the yen. Very different, right? Because gold has broken above. Now we're looking at gold priced in yen. Very different here. Gold has broken out in yen. Now, what we're actually looking at is the actual price of gold and the actual currency of yen, because I can do that on stock charts. But same thing up here. You have this big correction here, stays in the trend. I want to see what that one was. That was a 15% correction. So the yuan had it in 9, the yen had a 15% correction in gold. But again, moving above right here, and that's pretty impressive that we're at new highs since 2010. So gold is strengthening in yen, and we want to see the strength across multiple currencies. So this is the US dollar. This is the only chart I'm going to show that has the precious metal mining shares down here. But above here is the price of gold, actual gold, not a tracking symbol. And it broke above this again in the mid 2019, came up and hit its resistance pretty quickly, right? This resistance is the kind of the between 1550 and $1,600. You can see a lot of old support, and then it finally broke support in 2013. Old support becomes new resistance, but then it broke above. We had the Corona correction, and gold in at least US dollars did about a 12% correction, but is battling this 1550 to 1600 quite well. Its next move is going to want to battle that 1800, and then it's going to be pretty close to new lifetime highs. Now I have down here, let me move this up a little bit, GDX, which is a precious metal miner tracking symbol. And GDX needs to break above this resistance zone. Called $30 or $31. The very peak up here is almost $31. So if you want to anchor to a number, GDX above 31, you got to be bullish on it. So it hasn't broke above yet, even though gold in US dollars has broken above its 1385 range, which I've talked about for a long time. And gold in US dollars has broken above that 1550 to 1600. And this down here, I mean, this correction down here, if it's really small, that's 40%. That's a 40% correction in GDX. And it's actually more if you went intraday. I think it was 45 or maybe even 50%. But if you look between my two blue horizontal lines, GDX has really been bouncing between basically about $30 and $18. And so it has stayed in that sideways range. Now, again, I know you have to squint to see this, but this type of volatility, that's incredible volatility. Now, one reason why GDX is not broken out yet is, remember, these are companies. And these companies have been hurt in the past on not maybe properly hedging what they sell their gold for. So it's very likely that even though gold's gone from $1,200 to $1,650, right, that's about a 40% increase. During the exact same time period, GDX has gone up, it's gone up 50%, but it hasn't broken out of its range. So one of the reasons might be because it's still sold into the future. You know, the ounces they pulled out, they still said, yeah, we'll sell it to you for $1,300 or $1,400. So it's not, the newer higher price isn't yet helping them. It's only a matter of time that GDX does break out, right? I'm not predicting. I'm just simply pointing out here that gold has been strengthening now. This is a solid trend here. This has been going on since September of 18. So that's a real trend, right? We are 18 months, about 18 months into this. It has broken through this, it has broken through this, and it looks like it wants to take its aim at this. Here we go, this up here. So that's in US dollars. Okay, this is gold in Swiss francs. And you can see it's already attacking its old lifetime high that it hit in 11 and 12 here. So gold in Swiss francs is up here battling its old high. And I have Swiss franc in here simply because people often think it's the Swiss franc, kind of like a good fiat-like gold currency. So gold up here battling new lifetime highs in the Swiss franc. And then we got the British pound. Guys, gold lifetime highs, British pound, clearly broke above its old 2011 highs. What's beautiful about this chart is it broke above it, came back and sat on it and confirmed that, yes, this used to be a ceiling, right? This used to be a ceiling for gold priced in pounds. And I broke through it, and now it's a floor, and it has taken off to new lifetime highs. So gold in pounds is absolutely skyrocketing. And it's great that I show these in different currencies because I know I have a lot of listeners all over the world. And even if they're in different countries, a lot of times, even if they're living in Africa, they are paid in pounds or euros or dollars, or they change them. Now, guys, I want you to think about if you want to be a better investor, right? You want to be a better steward of your money. You want to get control back over your money and your portfolio and your future, right? You want to know that you have enough. It's not enough, guys, to just look at symbols, right? It's not enough to just kind of feel entertained and look at things. The difference that makes a difference is in trending, is in training your brain. Right? It's to train your brain and to train your money. And I have a training course, and you may have some interest in learning about it to see what it's like. I got a link below that you can click on, and the outro there should be a link to. So those of you who want control back and know that you're going to have enough, and it almost doesn't even have to do with how much you have anymore, right? Because I've met people who have 1 million, 10 million, and they still don't have control back over their money. But typically, if you have over $500,000 in the market, it's almost a no-brainer to take the training, because basically what you're doing is you're taking 1 or 2% of that 500,000 to be like, look, RC, I've got to really get control and grow and properly protect the other 99 and 98%. Okay, so let's see if we have any other currencies. We got one more currency, guys. We got the euro coming up. Euro, like the pound, gold broke out to new lifetime highs in 2019, tested that, and moved higher. So what's interesting, as we go around the globe, we can see how these fiat currencies are doing against gold, and in Europe and the UK, which is really the same economic bloc. And it makes sense that gold is looking very similar to those. They're breaking out to new lifetime highs. I want to show one more price chart of gold, and it's actually going to be a price chart of silver. This is a very annoying price chart for a lot of people who want to own precious metals. So up here, you can just ignore all this gobbledygook down here, but up here, this is a price chart of SLV. And let me just see, it's a 7.5-year price chart of SLV. So clearly it's been going sideways. There's been a little bit of a oops right there, a little bit of an oops there. And this is possibly another oops. I'm not saying you have to wait, but we want to see silver strong too. And so far, silver's like the small cap sector, right? So IJR is small caps of stocks. We want to see silver get up off the floor. And this very likely could have just been a clean out. I mean, this is a pretty impressive fall. That's 35%. That absolutely scared the heck out of people. So guys, here's the takeaway. Gold is strengthening. It has been hit a little bit, but it has not been hit out of its trend. And that's really what you want to be looking at now, is what hasn't been kicked out of its trend during this current correction, when we don't know if it's over. It's dropped about, depending on what index you're following, really anywhere around the world, it's dropped anywhere between about 35, your index has dropped anywhere about 35 to 40%. So that's a legitimate fall already. All right, guys, thanks so much. This is RC Peck, and this is just another chart, another piece of information to really help you protect your portfolio, your future, and get the control back over all of your wealth, not just your symbol, but really have control of your wealth and know that you're going to be okay. All right, guys, thanks so much.